Everybody, this is going to be a real short summary. If you are absent today, take a look at our Schoology folder. This is for Monday and Tuesday. Remember, Tuesday you guys have a field trip, so we've got a short class time on Monday or on Tuesday. So I combined the 2 days, and we're just going to spend a couple days reviewing your scientific concepts that were presented in the ecosystem unit. I want you guys to have an objective that you're going to demonstrate proficiency on that test. So I've included the study guide here. I'm just going to open this real quick. Please go ahead and download this to GoodNotes. I have hard copies in the classroom if you would like to have a hard copy, or if you have an opportunity to go ahead and print one off at home, you can do that. The test format, it'll be 2 parts. So part 1 will be on Schoology. This will be multiple choice, matching true, false. I may have a couple fill in the blank. And then part 2 is going to be student-generated models. And you'll have a student-generated model from each one of the chapters in this unit. So for food chains, food webs, and energy pyramids, right here it says you need to know your vocabulary. Here's the format in which you're going to see the vocabulary. It may be a fill in the blank. It may be a matching, maybe a choose a definition. Maybe I'm going to ask you to write a definition, and definitely application of all of those words. Diagrams, you're going to be asked to generate a model of a food chain, a food web, and an energy pyramid. And be able to explain what the arrows indicate in a food web and food chain and what direction they should go. Make sure that you know what would happen to other organisms in a food chain or a food web if there was an increase or decrease in one of the other populations. Make sure you understand the role of decomposers and what type of organism, either producer or the 3 types of consumers, would be found at the different levels of an energy pyramid. In photosynthesis, know the vocabulary words from the chapter. Again, fill in the blank, matching, choose a definition, write a definition. And then I may have a diagram on the test, and you'll have to identify the parts maybe of a leaf, like maybe it's the stomata or the guard cell. Or I might say which organism in this diagram is responsible for bringing in water to the green leaf, and you'll have to identify it. You're going to be asked to write the balanced equation for photosynthesis. Please make sure you are familiar with that to the point where you can write that by yourself. Know the reactants and the products of photosynthesis. Know what are not the reactants and what are not the products of photosynthesis. Be able to explain what radiant energy is. There's a definition of that. And be able to, that should be in your photosynthesis vocabulary terms. And be able to identify where energy from the sun would be depicted in the balanced equation for photosynthesis. As far as the diagrams, you're going to be asked to generate a picture model of photosynthesis of a green plant. Remember what you guys did in the lab section for this unit? And I had you guys draw a picture of a plant and then talk about what the reactants and what the products are, like draw a diagram of photosynthesis in a green plant. This time I'm going to ask you to include a zoom in showing what organelles are involved in the leaves, what organelles are involved in photosynthesis that can be found in the leaves, and then make sure that you understand the law of conservation of mass and be able to use the key concepts from chemical reactions, from your chemical reactions unit, specifically key concepts 6, 8, and 9. And then the last little chapter we had was limiting factors and carrying capacity. So again, know the vocabulary words from this chapter, be able to fill in the blank, matching, choose a definition, write a definition, interpreting information from a graph. I promise you I will have a graph that shows limiting factor and carrying capacity of a population. And I will ask you, like, what is the population, what's the carrying capacity of this population? And you'll have to look at the graph and determine what that is. Be able to identify biotic and abiotic factors that are identified as resources for different types of organisms in an ecosystem. So that kind of ties into biotic and abiotic factors. That was part of the definition or part of the vocabulary terms for ecosystem. And so this would just be an example of make sure that you can apply your knowledge of what the definition is to the different questions. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Our test will be on Wednesday, May 1st. Talk to you later.